You're a good driver. No, I mean it. I'm not being condescending. You're good. I'm not saying you're a sock dodger or anything, but you're very capable. I mean, there aren't many who are as good as I am, at least around here. But in the end, that doesn't help you much on a slippery road at night, now does it? It'll be fine. It'll be like I was never gone. And then I can get back to work once I get another car. I'll figure it out, one thing at a time, right? Gotta get back first. Thank you again for the ride, by the way. I appreciate it. Well, yeah. And I appreciate all the work you did taking care of me, helping me get better. You were a lot kinder and more respectful than I took you for, and I'm grateful for it. Actually, speaking of the work you do, is art your only job? I just wondered, since this whole week you were with me, you didn't leave to go do art at a studio or anything like that. You didn't seem to be working on much there in the cabin either. You do earn a living, right? Or are you living off some massive inheritance that you didn't tell me about? Ah, I see. On again, off again sort of thing. I guess being an artist has a lot of up and down time. I didn't keep you from getting anything done, right? Hey, I never want to be a burden. I feel like I owe you a lot already. I'd hate to think you were missing out on some work on top of everything else. That would be bad. Left at the next turn, please. Okay then, if you say so. Doesn't really matter what you do, does it? As long as you can support yourself, I guess. Unless you're a cop, but I figure that's unlikely given the hooch you're brewing at home. Well, I know some cops do make their own stuff. They're human too, after all, but it would surprise me if you were like that. Like, hypocritical. Cops that use one hand to hold a whiskey and the other hand to arrest a bartender are pretty hypocritical, don't you think? But you don't strike me that way. You seem a lot more straightforward. Plus, if you were a cop, I expect you'd have arrested me or something. Well, why not? You didn't owe me anything. Random bootlegger crashing near your place. There's no reason you couldn't just arrest me. But you took care of me instead, and that meant a lot, so thank you, again. See that turn off to the right up there? Turn there. What, something on your mind? What is it? You can tell me. What sort of work? Are you a cop? I was only kidding about that. In that case, what are you? Oh. Oh, I see. So when the cops need someone to draw what a witness saw, they call you. Doesn't that make you a cop? Ah, I think I get it. Like working on a contract. No badge or gun. Just someone they call when they need a quick pencil. That's... I mean, an artist gotta make a living, right? I'm not upset about it exactly, but this isn't doing much for my trust. And that was already hanging by a thread. Also, hey, you were drawing me. You have my pictures all over your sketchbook. No, that's not fine. What am I supposed to think? Why'd you do that? Why'd you draw me? Are you serious? I feel another phonus balonus coming on. I was all banged up after the crash. I certainly didn't have the look of someone beautiful. But you drew me anyway. Are you going to turn me in, or turn the pictures over to the cops so they can come get me? Why should I believe you? You work with cops and you drew my face. You have so many drawings of me. What's stopping you from handing me or that book over to your buddies? Yeah, right. That doesn't work anymore. I could tell them you have a bunch of hooch in your house. I could try the whole you turn on me, I turn on you thing, but it's different now. Well, think about it. Why would they believe me? It was different when it was just your word against mine, but now this, you're friends with them. All you'd have to do is tell them I'm nuts. Crazy lady pretending that you're making booze to try and save yourself. Isn't that adorable? Everyone has a good laugh, and then I go to jail. End of scene. Turn right up here, please, assuming you're still taking me home like you said. I want to believe you, I really do. but it's hard to trust someone who works with law enforcement, even if you're not a cop yourself. No wonder you felt safe making gin in the woods. Even if a cop had stumbled on you, they'd never think you would do that. You have the perfect protection. You have respectability. I'm feeling a lot of things right now, very few of which are good. But I'm trying to be reasonable. You could have turned me in at any time. You didn't have to help me. You could have just left me to die, honestly. But you saved me, and so far you haven't given me a reason not to believe you, except for this little tidbit now. I get it, and you're not entirely wrong. If you had told me you did art for the police, you're absolutely right that I would have tried to hobble out of there on the spot. I wouldn't have trusted you as far as I could throw you. So I don't know if I would have done anything different in your place. And I am glad you told me now. That's something, I guess. You didn't have to. Do you do work for them often? Well, I guess there's not a lot of call for witness sketches, at least not often enough to make a living on. You do other things too? Other kinds of art? I see. I think I understand. So, I have to ask, do you have friends who are cops? Well, did the stuff I told you about my work, You're not going to repeat it to anyone, right? You're not going to tell your colleagues in law enforcement what I told you? I don't know, honestly. I guess at this point I have to trust you, but I won't lie, I am kicking myself a lot for telling you anything. I saw that hooch you were making, and I bought that artist line, and I just assumed you were safe. I really should have known better. You'd think I'd have a better survival instinct. Probably didn't help how banged up I was. I would have trusted almost anyone, I suppose. It says you. Doesn't change the fact that you do work with the cops, even if it's not very often. Doesn't change your connections to that world of law enforcement. But I guess that's neither here nor there. Water under the bridge, as they say. As long as you're not planning to turn me in, or turn my pictures over, or do anything else to jeopardize me or my living, we're fine. Absolutely, we're Jake, I promise. Unless there's something more you haven't told me. Any bodies buried in your basement, or skeletons in your closet. I can't tell if you're kidding. You've really thrown me off, sweetness. All right then, I'll do my best to trust you. I guess if you ever try to turn me in, I can reach out to a Fed or two that I know and point them in the direction of your little cabin. Not planning to, just saying the option is there. Don't give me a reason to use it. I would never. I like you, believe it or not. I like you very much. Which might be why I'm so quick to forgive right now. That and all this gratitude I'm feeling, it's fairly oozing out of me, can't you tell? Still, you saved me, I owe you, and I will trust you as best I can. In this day and age, that's better than nothing. And you trust me too, right? As best you can? Well, have you given any more thought to getting into the business? I still think you'd make a killing selling your stuff. Not just that, I also happen to like your company. And now, with this latest revelation, maybe I want to keep you close and keep my eye on you. Never know when your conscience might kick in, and we can't have that. What, really? You're not pulling my leg? Well, then we should definitely talk more. I have some people I can introduce you to. Lots of really helpful guys in the business who can get you all set up with distribution. You'd be raking it in before you know it. I think so, yeah. But before we do any of that, I need to get home and get cleaned up and get myself back into the action. Then I can get you in, one thing at a time. I get that, but keep this in mind. Once you're in, it's not the easiest thing to get out. So be sure you want to before you do it. Of course I want you to. The money's great, and there's the pleasure of your presence. But you can't keep drawing faces for the cops if you're selling your hooch under the table. No one will trust you, even if you're not technically a cop. Well, you'd have to be too busy if they ask. Say you're focused on your other art, since it's becoming so very lucrative. Say whatever you want, just don't be hanging out at the police station anymore. For any reason. Unless you're the one who's getting arrested, of course, then you don't have a choice. Look, I'm a practical girl. I know the realities of the world, and some of them are ugly. I'm not perfect, not by a mile. You're not perfect either, and as comfortable as I am with you, I'm still not going to fully trust you, probably for a long time. That's just how it has to be, given everything. I look at the balance of the situation and I make the most reasonable choice, for me and for my work. But that doesn't mean I don't want to help you succeed. I still owe you, and I would love to get you away from selling your talents to the ones trying to mess with our supply lines. So if you're serious about wanting to learn more, I can help you. I can get you in. The rest is really up to you. Okay, then we can talk about it. Meantime, see that little drive up there? Turn in there. That's the one. Perfect. Thank you very much. Now I'll be getting out. Yes, right here. Of course I don't, but we're near enough to my place that I can walk. I don't want you seeing where I really live. My life, my privacy, don't push it. I'm gonna get out, you're gonna drive away, and soon I'll contact you about the work. I know how to find you, that's the easy part. First, I need to talk to some people about you. It'll help your chances that you did so much to take care of me. If we're lucky, you'll be ready to roll with your quality booze in no time. Just wait for me to reach out. Keep doing what you're doing. And if you turn on me, we're done. In every possible way. Do you understand? There's no going back if you rat me out. Good. Glad we established that. All right, then. You take care. I'll be in touch soon. And in the meantime, don't take any wooden nickels. Hey, Sweetness. Shout out to this audio's randomly selected Sweetness patron, Nick. Thank you for making this channel possible. If you like my audios, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and check out the links in the description for all the ways you can support me, including my awesome Patreon. Thanks for listening.